do you make a 1991 Chevy Cavalier even hotter? Add a limited edition GT package, automatic transmission, and air conditioning with GT side stripes, GT insignia, a black satin rear wing, and special GT graphics. And the price is hot, too. Just $195 per month with 20% down and special 7.9% APR, 48-month financing from GMAC. The 1991 Chevy Cavalier. We couldn't make it any better, so we made it hot. Super Chevy Geo dealer.
We're going to take a look at the goal that the Capitals got to put them ahead. The puck came out. Coffey was looking for it. And Calle Johansson did reach back on the backhand maneuver as he was drifting away from that puck. He whirled around and just put it towards the net and went right between the legs of Peter Angelo. That was a great individual effort, actually, by Calle Johansson.
I thought that Berglund might have touched it right in front to direct it home, but that was not the case, and Johansson cashes in. Capitals 6, Penguins 5. And the Penguins back on their heels right now, trying to make the motor go the other way. The view out here for the Penguins. Can't get a handle on it. And Bob Arey to his own blue line. Three-point pass to Mark Recchi. Give it away to Ron Langway. And here are the Capitals. Bringing the puck back to the Penguins. And they have Ridley, Berglund, and Kelly Miller out here against the Lemieux line.
One thing the Penguins thought they were doing too much of in game one was fishing for that puck too much around the net, Mike, instead of taking the man. And that was a good case of it there. Everybody looking down at their feet for the puck. Johansson was doing the same thing because he's in an offensive position, but you got to take the man in that situation and make sure nobody's getting that puck. Penguins aren't doing that right now, down low, and the Caps are making them behave that way, I think, by just putting good pressure on the Pens down low and around that cage.
Well, the Pens down to 7:35 to go and trying to get the tying goal. Down the right wing, Loney coming to the Capitals end, goes to Lemieux, drop pass back, and here come the Capitals on a 3-on-1. Ridley with Kristich into Ciccarelli, and the pass by Ridley's too far for Ciccarelli, allowing the Penguins to get back. Well, they blew a great chance there. Now they're around the net. They turn and shoot it. It goes in, but the puck was waved off. The goal is waved off. Frankie's having trouble seeing that puck right now. It was under his pads and it squirted free and in the goal, but the whistle had sounded. And it did take some time after that before it did squirt across the line, but the goal judge is doing his job of turning the light on when that puck goes across the line. That's what he's supposed to do. The goal judge right there read the play, and he did exactly what he's called upon to do. But the whistle had sounded prior to that and quite a bit before. Frankie just could not find the puck. He didn't know where it was.
Ciccarelli is so dangerous coming out from behind that net. He scored a goal in overtime for the Capitals in their previous series with the Rangers to win a game, and same play, coming out and then just turning it right back to the net.
No goal. The whistle had blown. No goal.
And you could see it was still on the line when they came in and jammed it in after the whistle had sounded, so the goal does not count. 6-5 Washington here in period number 3. Caps with another big dramatic comeback. You rarely see teams that trail going to the third period win in this league, but the Caps have done it once, trying to do it a second time. 18 prior times in playoff competition, the Capitals have had 5 goals scored against them, Paul. Their record, 0-18. Here they are in front of the Penguin net, so they've rallied, trying to knock that number aside. And here's Larry Murphy on the move, going to the Penguins end down the right wing. Loney in front to Gillen with a backhand attempt miss. Loney is around the goal. He can't pull the trigger. Liut is rammed over, knocked down. Loose puck picked up near side by the Capitals, and Kevin Hatcher's one-on-one against Gordy Robert. Less than 7 minutes to go in regulation. Hatcher pulls back. He'll whip it back towards the Penguins end. The Capitals, you would think, would probably play a little more defensive minded. Here's Yager trying to go through 4 men. He gets around 3, breaks in, but he's stripped and knocked down. Langway gets the puck. But Dale Hunter, and he'll snap it ahead. Here comes a 2-on-1 break for the Capitals. Ciccarelli on the right wing. Yager's after him, goes left side. A shot. Missed. Ciccarelli in front. He can't turn it over to put it into the open net. And Coffey and the Penguins. The Penguins are pressing the attack here right now, trying to get a tying goal. And they are getting caught time and time again back. With only 1 man back. Yager. Over to Stanton. Will come to Coffey. Coffey cannot get into the zone, but Francis will. Ron Francis with a slap shot. That'll miss. Around to the right point. Stanton to the Penguins. Off the boards to Yager. Terry Murray looks like a genius right now. Made a goaltending change. Liut has held the Penguins scoreless. Shot to the net. Peter Angelo stops it from the left wing circle and holds on to it. Liut has been in the goal, and the Capitals have got that spark to get it turned around. And we are now watching the clock with 5:59 left in regulation. 6-5 Caps on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Working on a pole line, going down, down. Working on a pole line. How about another
punch down the left wing boards and did not keep the puck in, and the Capitals bounced out of there with a 2-on-1. Cicerelli with a great opportunity, but he could not cash in on it as he cut to the net. Couldn't turn it over to the backhand. Peter Angelo was down, too, in that situation.
And the puck is slapped back into the Capitals' end. 6-5 Washington. Penguins trying to rally, and they lose the puck at the point. Really coming back in the play, going to the Penguins' end. Looks to pass across to Kelly Miller, but the Penguins break it up.
It's uncanny how the Capitals move that puck quickly and deep in their own end and up the boards to get it out.
Murphy's pass intercepted by Calle Johansson. And the Capitals held on to a 1-goal lead late in the third period against the Penguins on a Wednesday night, then scored an empty netter. Stevens of Pittsburgh down deep. We still have a lot of time to go before that would manifest itself with the Penguins pulling their goaltender, you would think. And here are the Pens and the Caps in, but it's worked free by them and back to center, and they would have had another 2-on-1, and they will get it now. Hunter to the left side of Miller. And the Caps carry to the Penguins in, but the pass was just too far away from Miller, and he's tired. He'll come off. Stevens of Pittsburgh trying to beat Dale Hunter. Dump it off to Mark Recchi. Recchi on the right wing. Recchi has it, put it in front of the net. A bouncy puck. Penguins have had some dramatic comebacks against the Capitals this year in this building. Some big games. They won in overtime. Here's Recchi behind the net. Centers it for Lemieux. He's knocked down. Penalty coming up against the Capitals. Here's Coffey with it. Shooting the puck and it missed. And around the boards right side to Paul Stanton. Center point to Recchi. Extra attacker on. Fires it. Deflected. Stop. Rebound. Who gets it? Penn score! They tied the game at 6. From right in front, the Penguins have tied it. Oh, you'll have to be here to believe it. The Penguins have tied the game on a delayed penalty call, and the Penguins have made it 6-6.
And the guy who jumped on got the goal, Randy Gillen. Amazing. Gillen inserted into the lineup tonight. Recchi shot it. It hit something in front of Liut. Mario had to get out of the way. He was on the ice. He didn't want to get hit with a shot, so he stepped aside. And Gillen jumped on a loose puck and put it in. Randy Gillen.
So Randy Gillen joined the parade. They pulled Peter Angelo, and they made it 6-6 now. And a wild one here at the Civic Arena. I told you we've had some crazy games with these two clubs this year. Penguins twice have won in overtime against the Capitals. And coming from behind, the Caps trying to put on their own dramatic rush again. Now the Penguins have rebounded to tie the game. Backhander by Randy Gillen. You missed this one, shame on you for 6 weeks, boy. Both games have been absolutely unbelievable in the series today, and it's not over yet. John Bruce and the Penguins in. Shoot it towards the net. Loose puck. Look out. Here's Stephen Leach. He can't put it in. Now they drive it in towards the net. Peter Angelo stopped that. The Capitals almost took the lead again. You almost have that feeling, Paul, the way this game is going in regulation. Whoever gets the puck last may win this hockey game in regulation. I don't know. They're both getting great scoring chances.
I'll take my chances with Stephen Leach with that puck down there in that area. Better than Dino Cicerelli. And Frank Pietrangelo this time able to get a hold of that loose puck around the net. He is having problems finding that puck when it's down by his feet.
4:18 to go in regulation. A goal by Gillen from Recchi and Stanton. Recchi's got a 4-point night for the Penguins. But it'll all be wasted if the Penguins lose here. It doesn't really matter how many you get. It's what the final score is. So the Penguins are trying to rebound and get a victory here to even the series at 1 apiece.
You gotta love it for Randy Gillen. His step on the head been out there much tonight. Killing penalties is about it. He's jumped on as the extra attacker and found a loose puck and put it past Mike Liut.
Boston now leading Montreal 3-2 in the third period at Boston. Montreal goal scoring. Cortland scored to tie it, but Davey Christian put him ahead 3-2.
Before the game today, Bob Johnson talking about it being a team game, and Randy Gillen just showed us what he meant.
Well, the Canadians have just tied that game. Now it's 3-3 in the third period. Here it's 6-6, Pittsburgh and Washington. Brian Trottier weaves his way up to the Capitals line. Right side to Recchi. Recchi pulls in, looking to shoot. It does, and stopped made by Liut off his right pad. Langway gets to the puck. This game has gone back and forth all night long as far as momentum. And the Penguins trying to regain it again. Recchi put it behind the net to Mario Lemieux. Lemieux of the Penguins can't make a play back in front. And it's snapped off the boards and back to center ice to Mike Ridley. Ridley going to the Penguins in against Gordy Roberts. Recchi's all over Kelly Miller as he goes towards the goal. Bork to the Penguins coming up with it. Bork around Lemieux with 3:40 to go in regulation. Mario just puts it up in the air. It'll bounce through into the Capital zone. Calle Johansson shoots it back to the right wing corner. Pittsburgh territory. With the puck, Francis of the pens. Around the horn. Looks for Mullen. Johansson came in to pinch in. He will keep it alive. Now they feed it in the slot area between the circles, but Paul Stanton is able to corral it. Around the boards of Joey Mullen. On with an outlet pass to Kevin Stevens. 6-6 to score here in the third period. Stevens on the rush. Comes down with a wrist shot. That's stopped by Liut. Francis was hauled down left point. Coffey shoots it back towards the net. Liut knocks that wide. In front, Francis was upended by Stephen Leach. Still in the near corner, Kevin Hatcher. And he flips it out of danger back down to the Penguin zone. Stand with less than 3 minutes to go in regulation. On the right wing to Coffey, and it's going to be called back on a two-line offside pass. And we'll pause with 2:50 to go in the third period. Pittsburgh 6, Washington 6. Hope you're enjoying this one wherever you may be. I know you are. On the Penguins Hockey Network.
Need a plumber? You'll find more ads in the Bella, Pennsylvania Yellow Pages. But what good is a book full of plumbers when you just need one? Who works at night? Who takes credit cards? Who can come right now? Odds are you'll find the best choice in the book that gives you the most choice. The genuine Bella, Pennsylvania Yellow Pages. No other book can match it. The Bell Atlantic Company. Say you needed a room for the night where they take credit cards.
Montreal game, Stéphane Richer has tied the game for the Canadians. Wild hockey tonight, 3-3 in Boston, 6-6 here. And here's the puck lifted back into the Capital zone, 2:40 to go in regulation. Washington takes command of it. They send it ahead to Dino Ciccarelli. And Dmitry Kristich. He's into the Penguins in, trying to get around. Murphy comes down, going behind the net, centers it in front of him, right by everybody. Penguins have a 3-on-2 if they hurry back. Yager with Loney, and the man throwing away. Yager's around the man, cuts to the net, his shot! Stopped by Liut! He has that puck in his shoulder and keeps Yager off the board. Oh, what a save by Mike Liut. Oh, Yager, I'm sure, thought he had himself the go-ahead goal there, but Mike Liut, a beautiful save by the Washington goaltender to stop Yager was Yager flying down that slot.
And Yager finally gave himself enough room to get a good shot away. He was coming with a full head of steam through the neutral zone, carrying that puck. And he decided to pull that puck between the legs, just drag it around Iafrate of all people. And he shot it right at the arm of Mike Liut. He pinned that puck between his arm and his body, and right in the 7-hole. What a save by Liut on Yager.
Well, that's the save of the night right there. Mike Liut stopping Jaromir Yager.
What a rush. That was the play of the night, too, from an offensive standpoint. And Yager made a great play going the other way earlier in this period to break up a centering pass.
Well, every shot now right on the line is almost like overtime right now. You just feel that that sensation. The team that scores is going to win this hockey game at this point now. With 2:21 to go in regulation. Recchi with Bourque and Lemieux, and the sweat dripping very heavily off the face of Mike Liut as he stares out. Right with left wing circle, Capitals in. It'll be Hunter against Mark Recchi. Recchi is a guy that won a game in overtime for the Penguins. Paul Stanton also won one. And they're both on the ice right now. Recchi and Hunter are waved out. And Dave Tippett has to come on to get the assignment against Mario Lemieux. Lemieux won the draw, left point. Recchi over to Coffey, shoots it, and it went right by the shoulder of Mike Liut. Took a weird bounce off the corner. Liut comes over. Where's he going to go with it? Look out, he almost turned around and gave that puck to Lemieux. Off the boards, Recchi to the right side of the stand, stumbles. Looking though, put it back in the corner and it hit his skate, and coming right to Calle Johansson. Back in the 3-on-2 break for the Capitals. Calle Johansson storms his way to the Penguins in a bad pass, cut off by Coffey, and the Penguins hurry along. Here's Lemieux taking the pass against Hatcher, cuts around him, moves down, looking, shoots, and a stop by Liut again. Oh, Lemieux almost scored there, but a good skate save by Liut. Recchi banging around the boards. Here's a Penguin play in the zone as Recchi, as both Lemieux and Hatcher went down. The Capitals go right back on the attack with the Penguins in. Dino Ciccarelli with a 6-6 high left side, got a man open. Tippett shooting, blocked by Coffey, the Penguin defenseman.
Coffey's made two great defensive plays here in just the last minute or so.
What a stop again Liut made on Mario Lemieux with his skate. And Lemieux comes up, he's tired on the ship, but he keeps going. Back to the Capitals in, drop pass to Recchi. Now to Lemieux one more time. Mario going to Roberts, pulls back to Lemieux, shoots it off the side of the net. We have 1:20 to go in regulation. Up the right wing boards, here's Murphy of the Penguins. Murphy comes down, going behind the net. All the way around to the near boards. The Capitals trying to slow him down, and they do finally. And they come back, and they've got a 3-on-2. Remember, Lemieux is out here. He's dead tired. Miller the right side, but an offside call against the Capitals.
Not only that, but Murphy was the guy who was in deep on the play, so he was trapped coming back.
Both guys were exhausted. 1:07 to go. Lemieux coming off, and you can see just how out of gas he is right now.
And that was not Joe Bag of Donuts that he was trying to go around either. That was Kevin Hatcher. What a great play by Mario Lemieux to cut into the slot on the forehand, take the shot, and Lemieux almost allowed that to go between the pads, but it went off his pad and harmlessly just rolled off to the left of the cage. So Lemieux stopping the two big guns for the Penguins, the guys who can really make things happen one-on-one, make the great individual play, Yager and Lemieux.
1:07 left here in the third period. Ronnie Francis with Mullen and Stevens. And the two defensemen will be Gordy Roberts and Larry Murphy. Capitals counter with Pavanka's line with Leach and Bruce. And it's gone back and forth this game. Oh, a long shot by Johansson. Almost got by Pietrangelo. It hit his stick. Karam's over to the near boards. Roberts of the Penguins pulling back in behind his own net. And the Penguins blue liner pressured by Stephen Leach. Less than a minute to go in the regulation. Pass by Stevens cross rink off Johansson's stick, and that hops up into the seats with 45 seconds to go here in the third period.
What a frenetic pace we have had here ever since the Penguins tied this game. It's been incredible.
Oh, it's been like that all night long.
Yeah, it really has.
If you think about it, the Capitals came out. They were wicked the way they started the game. The Penguins came back, and they were storming Washington. Back and forth they went. In the third period, the Caps owned it all for the first half of it, and then took the lead. The Penguins come back. I'll tell you, you talk about a title fight tonight. This had it all. This is maybe better than that fight's going to be.
You know what's interesting too, Mike, is that the Capitals, if you ask every guy, you'd say, well, we don't want to get into a shootout with Pittsburgh. We're never going to win game 7-6 or anything like that against them. We're only going to be able to win 3-2. Somebody's going to win this game 7-6, I think.
And here is Berglund now, stepping back, and Roberts takes the puck, and he'll wind it down the boards into the Capital zone. This will be an icing call. Icing will be called against the Penguins with 32 seconds left in regulation. We'll go all the way back into the Penguin zone to the left of Frank Pietrangelo. If the Capitals should win this game, you know they've got all the momentum in the series and going their way. If the Penguins win, it's maybe a carryover going to the third game in Washington.
I'll tell you, you look back at that Jersey series in game 2 and why it was so critical. The Penguins were down. They were in overtime. It was a game like this that it just built up and built up. The intensity was so great, and it was one of those nail biters. And with the Penguins scoring the goal, it just seemed to give them a big lift. And that's so much hinges on a game like this because there's so much emotion involved in it.
But that lasted one game before the Devils came back and won game 4. So it's amazing the way these series go, the way emotions go up and down so quickly. Here's Mullen moving the puck to center. And the eventual thing is a team has to win 4-7 games. Francis down the right side. Going to the Capitals end. He shoots it in the corner. Now 17 to go in the third period. Out to Mullen. Mullen turns and shoots it off the side of the goal. Mullen waited. He went back on it. Now gets it over to the open man. Stevens turns around. Stevens knocked down by Johansson. Here's Francis behind the net. 5 seconds to go. Capitals working to the near corner, but it looks like we're going to overtime. 1 second left, and we will go to sudden death overtime. And for the Penguins, it will be their second trip to overtime in the playoffs to date. They went against the New Jersey Devils and beat them 5-4 in game 2 of that series. And for the Washington Capitals, it will also be their second opportunity to go to overtime. And they won against the Rangers in New York in a game that had a ton of shots in it. They had 55 shots against the Rangers and eventually won it. The shots on goal in the period, the Penguins with 10. The Capitals had 16 in the third period. And the 3-period totals now, Washington with 38 shots and the Penguins with 34. We'll return to the Civic Arena in just a moment with the game tied at 6 here on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Hi, it's me, Equibank's Money Tree. You know, when you need cash, you'll never be up a tree if you apply for a loan from Equibank. Just call 1-800-LOAN-LINE. It's as easy as 1, 2, tree. Equibank's Money Tree here. You know, I'm not going out on a limb when I say Equibank has the best MAC card because we guarantee no fee till 1992. So come see the tree and get the MAC without the fee.
Sometimes we like to engage in intellectual pursuits. can observe our wildlife in its natural habitat.
Preserve the wildlife.
Experience the greatest new stars in America this week on Star Search 91.
Saturday at 11:30.
Penguins and Capitals in a matchup here. The Pens had a 5-3 lead go into the third period, but now we're tied at 6. And here's how it all happened. Dino Cicerelli getting the Capitals on the board at 2:17 from Johansson and Hatcher to make it 5-4. Cicerelli then again scoring. The Capitals, by the way, had their third power play goal of the game at 8:05 to tie it. Calle Johansson at 10:26 to put the Capitals into the lead. But the Penguins came back on a delayed penalty call. Johansson put him up 6-5 and then delayed penalty call at 15:25. And Gillen is first in the playoffs from Recchi and Stanton. And the Penguins had tied the game at 6 through the regulation. And the shots on goal in the period, Washington was 16 and the Penguins with 10. Again, the three-period totals, Washington with 38 and the Penguins with 34. When we come back, we will chat with Penguin General Manager Craig Patrick. And a wild game it is here tonight at the arena. Stay on board. We'll return on the Penguins Hockey Network.
At 11 o'clock, it's a fast-paced, to-the-point, concise newscast.
At 11 o'clock, that's when it hits the fan. All the games are ending right at that time.
In the winter especially, changing weather can sneak up on you. We'll give you the last word on how to dress the kids for school.
Nation. It doesn't stop at 6 o'clock. This town's still alive at night, and we're here to bring it to you.
Eyewitness News tonight. You'll see how your world has changed. Weeknights at 11 on KDKA TV2.
The Keystone State Games, Pennsylvania's Olympic Festival of Sports, August 6th through 11th, 1991 in Allentown, Bethlehem, Easton. 28 sports from basketball to wrestling. Register now for trials in your area. Call toll-free for information, 1-800-445-4559 between 9 o'clock a.m. and 4:30 p.m. weekdays. That number again is 1-800-445-4559. The Keystone State Games. Be there.
In a way, this is the next logical step. Everything I've done has led to this moment. But you know, I never imagined that I would be here someday. I was looking for challenge and adventure, and I wanted a chance to grow. The Coast Guard offered all of these and more. But the first step was to join. It made sense. A small service with a big mission. They had everything from sea level up. Responsibility, opportunities, action. The Coast Guard has all the right stuff.
I'm Commander Bruce Melnick, United States Coast Guard. Take that first step today. It could very well be one giant leap.
Roger, Columbia. This is the Coast Guard and Coast Guard Reserve. Call toll-free or see your Coast Guard recruiter.
Welcome back to the Civic Arena, where the Washington Capitals and Pittsburgh Penguins are tied at 6. After regulation time, we played 3 periods. Nothing's been decided. The ebb and flow of this game has been almost unbelievable, with the Caps coming out in the first period and simply dominating for quite some time before the Penguins were able to tie the game at 1, and then they took over the momentum of the game. The Capitals took over again in the third period. Craig Patrick is with us, the general manager of the Penguins. And Craig, I think when you're leading going to the third period, normally during the regular season, you think that's going to hold up, but the Capitals certainly have not let that affect them in any way here in either one of the first 2 games.
You're right. Having a lead going into the third period in both these games, you feel pretty comfortable, but we found out real quick you can't be feeling very comfortable against the Capitals because they're a hard-working team. They come at you. They keep coming at you. They play a very disciplined game. They come out of their end. In the third period there, they had a number of 2-on-1, 3-on-2 chances against us because we were trying to put pressure on them, and they were playing smartly, playing their position and coming out strong against us.
One thing they do extremely well, Craig, is play without the puck. They hold guys up about as well as any team in the league. I guess on one hand you could say that it's interference, but they seem to stretch that rule right to the limit, don't they?
Well, I loved Kelly Miller when I had him in New York, and he did it in New York, and he's doing it even better now for Washington. So, yeah, they do it extremely well. All their forwards are schooled very well on how to interfere, how to hold a stick without being caught, and it causes a lot of problems for us offensively.
And it gives them the opportunity, their defensemen, the opportunity to move the puck out of their own zone quickly, as they've been doing, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. When they hold us up on our forecheck, gives them a little more time to make one pass and move it out. And usually the second pass goes to the centerman, and off they come down on us.
Greg, I think if you went into this series and the Penguins were into this game tonight and the Penguins said we were going to score 6 goals, you obviously would think you'd win the game. I think the Capitals would probably have said the same thing. Why do you suppose it has been that end-to-end kind of wild, high-scoring game? Obviously, special teams have had an effect on everything.
Yeah, they have. Frankly, the goaltenders have played fairly well. There could be a lot more goals scored. Jaromir Jagr made a great play, end-to-end rush, and Liut made a great save on it. I don't know if he knew he made the save or not because he was looking for the puck, but he made the save nevertheless. And I don't know why it's been end-to-end. I hope we play a lot more solid defensively this period.
Craig, there's a tie with your family name between these two teams, and we really haven't talked about it at all during either of our first two telecasts. Maybe you could tell the fans of Pittsburgh who might not be aware of that fact.
Well, I have a cousin, Dick Patrick, who's the president of the Capitals. He and I are the same age. Actually, he'd like to say he's 5 months younger than I am, and he is, but he makes everybody aware of that. And he was a hockey player. He played at Dartmouth. He was a captain at Dartmouth when he went to college, and he's a lawyer. He got his law degree in Washington and became a part owner with the Capitals, and now he's their president, and I'd sure like to beat him. But however it ends up, Patrick's going to win the Patrick playoff title, so I hope it's us.
I wonder who Lester Patrick would have been rooting for.
I don't know. Actually, Dick's father, Muzz, lives in Connecticut. I'm not sure who he's rooting for either. He just wants. He wanted us. His wish was for Pittsburgh and Washington to get into the Patrick Division Finals, and he got his wish. Now he says he's very neutral.
Well, I know who you're rooting for. Good luck in overtime, Craig.
Thanks very much.
Craig Patrick, the general manager of the Penguins, has been our guest, and we'll return to the Civic Arena for overtime hockey. Game 2 of the Patrick Division Final Series. The Capitals 6 and the Penguins 6 here on the Penguins Hockey Network.
I like the way you make me laugh. I like the way you make me laugh. It's right in you. That's right. I like the way you make me laugh. I like the funny things you do. You got a style all over you. I like Sprite in you. That's right. I like Sprite in you.
Sprite with Lyman. A little more fun than what you're used to.
I like Sprite in you.
This is something special. It's a whole new kind of California strawberry, the Chandler. They're sweeter and juicier than ordinary strawberries. Chandler strawberries, this week's buyer's best pick at Foodland.
This week at the Double Coupon Store, there's a case of Faygo Pop, only $2.99. 8 o'clock bean coffee, just $3.99. And all kinds of Pringles, only 99 cents. And be sure to double those coupons all this week at Foodland.
Relive the Penguins' dramatic rise to the Patrick Division title. Now on sale, the Penguins 90-91 highlight video. High-speed action, interviews, and an inside look at the Pens. Mail orders only. Send $19.95 plus $3 handling to Penguins Highlights. The Penguins Pro Shop. The Civic Arena, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 15219.
goal came at 2:17. Cicerelli had 5 shots in the period, and 2 of those were for scores against the Penguins. And here was the first one. Cicerelli at 2:17 from Johansson and Hunter from right in front.
Cicerelli never gives up on the play, Mike, and that's why he scores so many goals. He never gives up. If he misses the first time, he's right back in there looking for that puck again. See what he did there? Off the post, still reaching and reaching and reaching, and finally able to get it into the net somehow, some way. Dino finds the net.
That was 8:05 the time of that goal, and then the Capitals took the lead for the second time of the night. They led earlier in the game 1-0, and it was Calle Johansson scoring the goal. Calle Johansson from Hunter and Leach, credited with the assist now. And that made it 6-5. But at 15:25 on a delayed penalty call, big scramble around the Capitals goal. Recchi had shot the puck down low. It caromed off somebody, came right back out in front, and Randy Gillen was able to pick it up and backhanded by a fallen Mike Liut, and it tied the game for the Penguins.
How about that? You can imagine coming off the bench, Mike. You were sitting there all that time. You step on the ice, you go over, you find a loose puck, and bingo, it's in the net.
That's why they have it. That's why they pull the goaltender, put that extra man on, and Gillen was right there to ram it home. We'll be back to tell you about the overtime records of these two clubs and have overtime. We'll do that in just a moment on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Working on a cold iron, going down, down. Working on a cold iron. How about another round? 5 o'clock in the evening. I'm already home and gone. An Iron Man is always working. We work hard at having fun. Man, it's rough.
Welcome to the battle between the almighty dollar and the little...
McDonald's original juicy hamburger is just 59 cents. Delicious cheeseburger, 69 cents. And tasty sausage biscuit, 79 cents.
With a few sunny breaks and not as warm tomorrow with a high of 53.
You are watching a man have a heart attack.
Mom, your breakfast is ready.
He's hoping it's nothing, but he knows the signs.
Oh, what one do we need to be hungry?
Hi, gang.
Here's your salad.
Oh, thanks, sweetie.
Hey, you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine.
And now is the time he should be getting help.
Oh, what's on me later, okay?
Yeah.
Getting to the hospital at the first signs of an attack can save your life.
Paul? Need your help. Better get me to a hospital.
Remember, your life is in your hands.
All right, the overtime records of these two teams in Stanley Cup playoff action. Of course, both relatively young franchises in the history of this league. Penguins are 5-3 in overtime play, including a win over New Jersey in their last overtime game. And the Washington Capitals in overtime have a record of 8-5. They have won 6 straight. The last time they lost in overtime was the 18th of April in '87. The longest overtime game in the history of the NHL against the Islanders, losing 3-2. Since that time, they've rattled off 6 straight. Here's the play underway. Sudden death overtime, and now Iafrate back in the Capitals' end.
Well, that's good to know.
Iafrate with that puck. It went 4 overtimes before that game was decided. Lemieux in the Capitals' end left side. Over to Bob Airy. Recky's in front of the net. He'll be looking for the hat trick. It got ended. Around the net, Recky shoots, and he just missed the goal. He scored an overtimer to beat the Capitals. And isn't that ironic that the Penguins are facing a goaltender that 10 years ago, almost to the date, that they lost to in St. Louis in Game 5 of a playoff series against the St. Louis Blues. When Mike Crombie scored a winning goal against Greg Millen. Lemieux into the Capitals' end. Right side, Recky's there. A shot! Save made Lemieux again from 45 feet. And the Capitals come rambling back. They go to center ice to Berglund. Berglund will shoot it in. Penguins going for the kill early, it looks like. They got the big guns on. They couldn't cash in on the first 2 shots. Coffey and the Penguins going to the Capitals' blue line, and he'll dump it in.
I think Recky's first chance was stopped by Liut. I think he got a skate on it.
Francis put it in front, and it went right by Kevin Stevens. Paul Stan shoots it deflected. It comes over to Kevin Stevens. Wrists it wide of the goal. Right side, Stan comes on. He shoots it back in front, and it's deflected by Liut. Now to the Penguins back around behind the net. Turns, looks, shoots, and he hit a stick of Liut. Off his stick and up into the seats. And the faceoff will be in the Capital zone.
Well, the only thing that scares me about this, Mike, the Penguins coming out and throwing everything at Liut, and Washington hasn't had their chance yet. And sometimes in overtime, you get a lot of chances at one end, and then the other team comes up and they score on their first chance or maybe second chance. But Penguins need to cash in if they're going to be pouring everything at Liut. You just hope that they do it soon.
That did not hit Liut. Second hit the defenseman who went diving out to put the stick down and block the shot by Joey Mullen.
I think Liut got his left skate on Recky's first chance. And then he stopped Recky again with a hard wrist shot. And Recky can really let that rip when he's skating in full stride. He's got a great wrist shot to catch his goaltenders by surprise.
The other game also in overtime tonight, the Canadiens and Bruins.
This was Recky's first chance. I think he may have shot it wide. It's hard to tell from that angle if it went off the toe of Liut or just wide of the net.
And Ron Francis on the ice with Joe Mullen and Kevin Stevens. And the Capitals counter here with Dale Hunter. Face off to the left of Mike Liut. Liut in that game against the Penguins with St. Louis. Both he and Miller were just unconscious. Liut actually stopped Mark Johnson on the second overtime, coming down, I believe, on a breakaway attempt, and stopped him just at the beginning of it. And again, the Blues went on to win that game. He was phenomenal that night, as was Millen, and it was decided by a goal by Crombie. And here is Kevin Hatcher trying to come out. Whip it ahead to the blue line, not out of the zone. Francis got it over to Stevens now, trying to look for Mullen, but it's cut off by the Capitals. Dino Ciccarelli. He'll step it down the boards around to the left wing corner. Dave Pippett has it for the Caps. Stevens took it away from him, and it comes outlet now to Joey Mullen. On the attack to Ron Francis. Right wing to Kevin Stevens. A 6-6 tie in overtime. Stevens turns around. A backhand shot. And Liut got a stick on that easily. Right behind the Capitals goal. Loose puck. Francis going for it. Ronnie Francis backdoor it, but the Capitals are there to break up the attack. And playing defense in his own end was Dale Hunter. Going to the head of center netter Dino Ciccarelli. Long shot deflected. Goes in on Peter Angelo. Frankie will leave it for Gordy Roberts. We're 2 minutes into the overtime period. The first one. Of course, if they do not score in this overtime period, they would clean the ice and go to another one. An icing call here against the Penguins. They shot enough ice. Penguins have had have had 3 shots in the period. The Capitals with 1 in the overtime. Going back again on that Islander Capital game that went to 4 overtimes. Pat LaFontaine won it for the New York Islanders at 8:47 of overtime.
Yeah, I think I said the other night triple overtime. It was quadruple overtime. Unbelievable. I should have known because it was like 2:30 in the morning when they finally scored.
These two clubs will meet in Game 3 at Washington. This could be very pivotal right now, the way this game's going. I mean, Penguins lose, get the heart taken out of them, and go to Washington down 2-0.
But I mean, so much hinges on it that it can be really a key game in the series.
Bobonka matches it up against Brian Trottier. And the Penguins do come up with it. Larry Murphy held it from behind by John Bruce, but the Penguins do ramble back the other way. Troy Loney going to the Capitals line, and he'll dump it in. Liut had a bounce off his stick. He steps out of the goal, though. Now looks to backhand it away, and he'll leave it for Langway. That's a wise move there. Let him clear it out. And he will. Well, Leach on the right wing. Going to the Penguins in. Leach with a long shot. That almost got by Peter Angelo, but he got it with a glove and held on. Leach trying to surprise Frank Peter Angelo with a long-range shot. Frankie just got down to glove that one and hold on. Penguins have had some dramatic overtime games. Who can forget the one in 1982 5-2 when the Islanders beat the Penguins 4-3 in overtime, when John Tonelli scored the overtime goal after the Penguins led 3-1. Late in the third period in that series, it was tied 2-2. The Islanders won that game and went on to win the Stanley Cup once again.
That was the hardest series they had that year.
It's usually the way it works. You heard the players talking about that first series is always the toughest. What they mean by that is, Paul Coffey said that after the Game 7 win. He said the first series is always the toughest. He says it's not going to get any easier, though. It's going to get harder. But what he meant was the underdog factor is gone. You're expected to win that first series, so it's that much tougher for you psychologically to get over the hump against an underdog. Things tend to even out once you get further along in the series.
Face-off Penguins in to the left of Peter Angelo. Mike Ridley of the Capitals against Ron Francis of Pittsburgh, who was on the ice with Bob Airy of the Pens and Mark Recchi. Face-off drop, Capitals control. Right point, Johansson with a shot blocked enough, but it will be Bob Airy. Looks to play it away to Mark Recchi. Recchi has a knack of coming up with big goals for the Penguins in crucial situations. 9 game winners on the year, and here's Recchi behind the net now on the Capitals end. Looks for Lemieux in front, who's on. Can't get it to him. Around the boards, it goes to Tim Berglund. Berglund to center to Ridley, and Lemieux snaps that away, and he grabs the puck and fires it away to the Capitals' left wing corner. Johansson of Washington lost the puck. Here's Recchi, giving the puck Lemieux right in front, one-on-one. He turns, shoots, scores. No, he couldn't put it in. He had a chance right there, and Lemieux stopped Mario Lemieux right in front. It looked as though he had him at his mercy on the backhand attempt, and Lemieux robbed him. Here's Kelly Miller going to the Penguins in offside. Boy, it looked like Lemieux had that one tucked in his pocket, and Lemieux somehow got over to make the save on Mario Lemieux. What a big save by Mike Lemieux.
And he stopped the rebound, too. Lemieux was parked in front. Maybe he had too much time, if you know what I mean. He had it on the stick. Lemieux was set. Lemieux tried to backhand it, but didn't get it over his pad. He had the pad out there, and then he made an unbelievable save on a rebound shot by Paul Coffey. Absolutely incredible goaltending by Mike Lemieux. But Mario went to the backhand, and Lemieux just guessed right. He had his right pad out, and Lemieux couldn't get it up, but the rebound came out. It was Coffey who took the first shot going by the net. Lemieux made the save, and Recchi couldn't get a hold of it on the second crack. Penguins have had about 5 great scoring chances already.
Boy, this reminds me so much of that game in St. Louis right now, even early on in this overtime period, the first one. And recalling that the Blues had a tremendous number of opportunities to score, too. The Capitals have not had any yet against Peter Angelo, real strong ones.
That scares me, Mike. It really does.
And it'll be Dimitri Kristich out with Hunter and Dino Cicerelli. And here's the play now around the boards on the far side of the Penguins end. It went off the stick of Iafrate and hops back into the Washington zone. Langway giving the puck over to Iafrate. Iafrate, the hero of Game 1. And the game-winning goal late in the third period. This one tied at 6 now in sudden death overtime. And Kristich handles the biscuit. Kristich moves it ahead, coming to the Penguins in. Cicerelli with a slam shot, and it's stopped by Peter Angelo. Caught it in the midsection and held on. Well, the Canadians have evened the series at Boston. Stéphane Richer has scored the game winner. Montreal defeats the Bruins 4-3, and that moves that series to 1 game apiece. Dino Cicerelli with a very intense look right now. I'm going to work. You can just feel it in his eyes. I'm going to work now, gentlemen.
He's got a couple of game-winning goals already in the playoffs.
Penguins in their own end are going to counter here with Trottier, Francis, and Kevin Stevens as a defensive line. Or Megan Mullen, I'm sorry, with Roberts and Murphy back.
Pick a guy in the whole National Hockey League you'd like to have with the puck in front of the goaltender in overtime with a chance to win the game. Who would it be?
Well, there isn't any question in who holds the record for the most playoff overtime, or not playoff, but overtime goals since they reinstituted it back in the early 80s. It's Mario Lemieux. He'd be the guy you'd want. And here's Kristich leaving the puck at center. Lemieux credit, all the credit in the world. The game appeared to be over at that point. Here's Hunter in the Penguins end. Throw it down in behind the net. Kristich and Roberts going for it. Roberts worked it free, but it comes to Dale Hunter. Centered in front. It's a loose puck there. Who will get it? Penguins come away with it. Larry Murphy. Traveling back. He's got 1-on-3 as he comes to the Capital line. He is hit by Langway on a step check, and the puck rolls back into the Capital zone. Iafrate comes up with it. Around on the right wing to Dino Cicerelli. And he just flips it up in the air. He'll go to the bench. The Capitals want to make a change here. Paul Stanton back. We're just over 4 minutes into the overtime period. And a 6-6 tie. Stanton to Pittsburgh. Wheels it up to center to Kevin Stevens. Right wing to Joey Mullen, who has a goal here tonight. Lemieux stops the play around the goals that came in. Working around to the near boards, but Stevens in hustling for it. Can he get there? He can't. The Capitals pick it free, and it's Michael Babak on a 4-man rush for the Capitals to Johansson. Penguins in right side. Man open, Lee shooting, and he missed the net. Around the boards quickly. Can the Penguins come away with it? They will. They got a man wide open left side. Coffey. It comes off the boards. He'll take it. Slap shot off the shoulder alley-oop. And that's off the glass in behind the Washington goal. They're both going for the win here early. And here are the Capitals. They rush back on a 3-on-2. Pavanka on the right wing. Murphy shut him off, but John Bruce has the puck. Bruce goes in. Put it behind the net. Stevens around the boards. Lemieux looks for the puck, and here he comes in a 4-man break, but he can't make the play. Capitals take it away. Well, the Pins in a 4-man rush coming back against 2. Coffey of the Penguins hauls it in from his own end. Looks for Lemieux. He's going to hurry it along down the left side. It hit Iafrate and went to the seats. They're not holding back. They're not playing for one break here, folks. They're going for the win right now, both teams.
I'll tell you. Mario Lemieux was center ice a moment ago with Recchi, and I think he was going to leave the puck for Recchi and let him lug it and come late on the play, or maybe try to spread it out and march up ice with Recchi, but Recchi wasn't there anymore. He just left the puck there, and nobody was there.
In a game, the Penguins trailed 1-0, went ahead 2-1 at the end of the first. We're ahead 5-3 at the end of 2. Watch the Capitals rally to tie it at 6 in the third period. That's where we are right now. The puck dumped into the Capitals' end. Lemieux is after it. Mario Lemieux knocking down one of the Capitals. Knew was that Iafrate was down. Iafrate's on top of the puck. And the referee, Gregson, calls for a face-off to the left of goaltender Mike Lemieux.
Lemieux is really dragging himself around the ice right now. His back is bothering him right now as he tried to take Iafrate down. He comes to the bench. Appears to be in some discomfort right now. I don't think it's just exhaustion. I think his back is really bothering him. He's wincing in pain right now on the bench.
35-year-old goaltender Mike Lemieux in uniform for the Capitals. Came to the Capitals in exchange for Ivan Korybov back in 90. Here are the Penguins on the right side of the Capitals in. Recchi trying to lay it over to Phil Bourque, and he can't connect on that. Ardino, Recchi, and Bourque the unit, but Kelly Miller storms back for the Capitals. The Penguins in a really rich shot caught by Peter Angelo. And he cut it up high and holds on. Remember after the game, the Penguins won against the New Jersey Devils. I think he had Barrasso on the post-game show, and he said, pressure. Yeah, that's pressure. When you're down there and every shot means the game, win or lose. And that's right. You don't get during the course of a game, but right now, every shot is magnified 100 times.
Well, I brought it up because I know how my stomach felt, and I'm sure all the people in the building felt the same way. And I said, I feel that pressure in my stomach, Tommy. I can't imagine what it must be like for you guys. You say, hey, we make our living doing this, believe me.
Just 27 seconds in, the Canadians score in Boston to win it. They rally from behind to come back and win it. Richer had 2 goals to do that. Here's the face-off now. Pull back in the corner. This is the fastest overtime win ever in the history of the playoffs. And now it will be a grab by Brian Trottier. He'll get it ahead to center ice. Johansson delivers it back into the Penguin zone. Well, the Capitals fought off a big attack by the Penguins early in this overtime. Really some great chances by the Pens. And the Penguins now steer it to the Capitals into the rink. Johansson around the wood. Right wing pass to Dino Ciccarelli. You'll expect him to see a lot of ice time here with the game on the line. Bouncing free to the Penguin zone, and Hunter on the right wing boards has a little room. Hunter goes down, goes to Hatcher, shoots it, and he missed the net. Off the left side, Calle Johansson will go right back to the goal. I would think he would. He can't quite get it there with any pressure, though. Dump it in around the goal to Hunter. Checked in the play by Brian Trottier. Somebody had his helmet knocked off. It's one of the Capitals. And off the left point, Johansson backhands one little miss. Taken by Gordy Roberts of Pittsburgh. And Roberts move it up quickly over to Brian Trottier. Looks for Yager behind the defense. Can't quite get it to him. Yager has it at center red now, turning away from a check. Away to Stanton. Stanton pushing up long over the head of Lemieux around the left side. And it'll be Trottier put it behind the net. Here is Yager, belted hard by Langway. Loney, he is belted hard from behind by Christie. As the hitting picks up now. Yager trying to work himself free around Langway. Langway's got him tied up. And that's about what you have to do to tie up that big guy Yager. Capitals trying to clear, and they can't. Right point, it goes to Stanton. Well, it shouldn't be as Loney right in front. Give it to him, and deflection is stopped by Lemieux. He had Loney right in front, and he did the right thing. He feathered it through, and Loney deflected it. Langway's knocking people down in front of that net, and he'll get away with it here as the Capitals race back to center. Hatcher on the left wing. Look for Ciccarelli, and the Capitals are offside. Rod Langway knocking out anything that moves, like a bulldozer in a construction construction yard in that Capital zone.
Paul Stanton won a game for the Penguins in overtime against the Capitals during the regular season. He just threw one to the net that went off a stick, and Liut had to be sharp to make the save on that. Great concentration as that puck came to the net.
It actually went off 2 sticks, one of the Capitals and also Loney's on the way in. Mike Liut standing tall right now for the Capitals.
Liut's got a mustache. He looks like, what's his name? The comedian. I can't think of it. Anyway.
42-41 the shots. The Capitals have outshot the Penguins. Pavanka at center ice here outside of the Penguin blue line against Ron Francis. 12:41 to go in the first overtime period. Charlie tied at 6.
Charlie Chaplin is the guy he looks like. Get a shot at Liut's mustache. It's hilarious.
And the Pens win the draw. Stanton giving the puck back to Paul Coffey. On to Stanton again. Wristed up to the center red line area. Mike Lawler pokes it through back into the Penguin zone and behind the net. Peter Angelo. Maybe that puck for Stanton. They'll spin it back to center, but Lawler cut it off for the Caps, and they drive it right back in. The game's starting to settle down a little bit now. Both teams very early went for the win. There's Coffey, though. He'll race back to the Capitals line. Comes down, shoots it right on, and Liut makes that save. Snapped away by the Capitals on the rebound to center. He was trying to set it up again. And it goes through to Iafrate in the Cap zone. He avoids a check by Ron Francis. Iafrate trying to get around Mullen. He does that, too. Iafrate to the left wing. Gets around a third man. Iafrate goes against the fourth, but he can't beat him. And Mullen turns in the counterattack. Penguins hurrying up. They got a man open left wing. It's Stevens. Francis has it. He goes to Stevens. He's there. A shot. Hey! Shoots and scores! Kevin Stevens wins it in overtime for the Penguins. And ladies and gentlemen, Elvis has just left the building. Gets the goal. Kevin Stevens, whose nickname is Artie, picks up a big goal for the Penguins to even this series. And his 4th of the playoffs, and the Penguins, Iafrate, who was the hero in Game 1, ends up being the guy that looks kind of tough here because he was in deep, got trapped. The Penguins came back and scored.
He got caught up in the Penguins game. It's something he said he didn't want to do before Game 1. But Ron Francis calmly carried that puck to the neutral zone. Came across the line, took a look, faked a shot, and then went over to Stevens. Liut came across, but Kevin Stevens banged it off the right post into the net to make it 7-6 and send the Penguins home and to Washington tied at 1.
So Stevens buries that shot, and the big train. And Francis faked the shot first and then went to Stevens, and he was able to wrist it by Liut.
I thought he banged it off the post. It hit that bar at the back of the net. It came back out. Put it right in the middle of the net.
All right, final score tonight, the Penguins 7 and the Capitals 6, and we'll be back in just a moment here on the Penguins Hockey Network. Time at 8:10. Stevens is 4th from Mullen and Francis, and the Penguins come away with a victory. They outshot the Capitals in the overtime 9-4 and 43-42 in the night. 3 stars quickly. Ciccarelli number 3, Recchi number 2, and Stevens number 1. Francis again setting up Stevens, and the Penguins draw even in this series at 1 game apiece. Game 3 coming up on Sunday as the Penguins will face it off against the Capitals. And our broadcast time coming up on the KBL Sports Network will begin at 7 on the Penguin radio side. We will start at 6:50. Sellout crowd of 16,164 saw this one tonight, and a thrilling victory it was for the Penguins as Stevens scores the game winner. And the final score here tonight from the Civic Arena, the Penguins 7 and the Washington Capitals 6. Now for Paul.
Okay, here is Bob Pompiani, and boy, what a night here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
a couple of come from behind wins.
If you love fantastic finishes, 2 of them, same night, same city. And we'll tell you about the Pirates in a moment. But first, how about those Pens? Game 2 has been a big one in most every NHL playoff series over the last 5 years. In fact, during that time, the team that has won Game 2 in a playoff series has 80% of the time gone on to win the entire series. That bodes well for the Penguins again. Pens open up things a lot tonight, and it showed. Right before the end of the second period, Coffey to Kevin Stevens pulls the trigger and scores. Penguins look pretty good, 5-3 after 2, but the Caps came back 3 unanswered to start the third. Dino Ciccarelli, his second of the game, squirts by Pietrangelo. It's tied at 5. Then Calle Johansson, another innocent-looking play, and another example of it squirting by Pietrangelo right through the pads, and it's 6-5 Washington. But with 5 minutes left in the game, Penguins get the equalizer. Lemieux tripped up in front. Delayed penalty upcoming. Penguins keep possession. Extra attacker comes on, and that extra attacker was number 15, Randy. Lucky your way into your picture on the backhand, shoots and scores. Game is tied at 6. We go to overtime, and as you saw here on KDKA, the game winner, Ronnie Francis, great fake, shoots. Kevin Stevens gets the goal, his second of the game. Dramatic fashion. The Penguins tie the series, winning 7-6. So the Penguins are following the same script, I guess, which they used to beat the Devils. They lose game 1 and come back to win game 2. And in both cases, John Steigerwald, they do it in overtime, and that certainly bodes well for the Penguins.
Yep, this looks just like the New Jersey series so far, and I think we had this guy here after the second game in New Jersey, Kevin Stevens, who got the game-winning goal. First of all, tell me about the game-winning goal.
Well, it was a great play by Joey Mullen and Ronnie Francis, especially coming out of the zone. And I knew Ronnie was going to come to me there. He did that one time against Montreal where he faked the shot and came right to me. It's a tough play, and I missed the goal. I missed the open net. And right here, I guess this is the play right here where it's coming on. And there's Joey right there. Made a great play to get it out to Ronnie. And, you know, Koff's coming up on the play here. We got a 2-on-1 right now. I'm coming late into the zone. And see how Ronnie faked it there, and then he just came to me there. It was just a great play. And I was lucky enough to get it up high enough to get it over him. And, you know, just a great play by Ronnie Francis.
Now, that would have been a tough game to lose. You guys really had them on the run from about the middle of the second period on, and then they came back in the third period and took it to you.
Yeah, that would have been a tough one. If we lost that game, it would have been tough for us to come back, especially the way we had the lead. We lost it, and they got 3 quick goals again in the third period. And, you know, it's just a great feeling again. Now we're 1-1 heading back to Washington, and, you know, it seems like we got a little bit of momentum, but you can't take anything for granted. They're a good hockey team, and they come to play every night, so we're going to have to be ready Sunday night.
What did you talk about after the third period?
Well, we pretty much went in there and relaxed a little bit, and then we started to talk about how much we needed this game. We just want to be alive. We want to stay alive. That was the big word, stay alive. How we can just keep going. You know, if you're down 2-0 going in there building, it's tough to go in there and get 2 games and then be back into it. So right now we're in a good position. We're 1-1, and, you know, hopefully we continue to play a little better than we're playing, but just keep the leads and, you know, get the wins.
Okay, thanks for being with us. I guess we'll see you in D.C.
Yeah, we'll see you there.
Okay, thanks. Kevin Stevens, who got the game-winning goal. Let's bring Paul in here. Mike's here also. Mario Lemieux wasn't one of the 3 stars, but he sure had his legs tonight. If there was any question about whether he was going to have any jump, he was moving.
Yeah, he really was, John, and it's kind of ironic. Here he was with an opportunity to win the game in overtime. You pick one guy, I guess, to have a chance in front of Mike Liut, as Mario Lemieux did. It would be him, but he wasn't able to beat Mike Liut. But he certainly was jumping tonight, really moving with his legs, and there's the great chance he had in overtime. Just unbelievable save by Liut. Coffey had an opportunity, too, coming in late on that play. But I think Mario's going to have to skate like that and play like that for the Penguins the rest of the series. He has played like this against Washington throughout his career. I think that's one of those teams that he seems to really get up for, and he really plays well against Washington.
Well, I'll tell you, we can't get any more wild games than we've had here at the arena. I mean, certainly the people have had all the money's worth this year in regular season, now the playoffs, too. You know, there's some key things in this game, really. Early on, Frank Pietrangelo was outstanding in goal. He kept the Penguins in the game when the Capitals really could have blown it open. The Penguins then, on their end of it, just couldn't hold the lead, and the power play has really been devastating against the Penguins, and I think they've got to shore it up if they got a chance in the series. I'm looking forward to more of the same, really, in the series. It's going to be unbelievable.
We saw a replay of Randy Gillen's goal, John. Bob Johnson talking about being a team game. He steps on the ice and scores a big goal for the Pens to tie it.
Okay, and that about wraps it up from here. We'll send it back to you guys and see what's happening in that Foreman-Holyfield fight. Everybody's asking over here.
The Canadians, who came back from a 2-goal deficit to even their series tonight in Boston Garden. Dramatic fashion is there as well. And it was 3-3 in overtime. Stéphane Richer, who had scored a goal earlier in this contest behind the net. Centers Corson will take a shot. Richer there for the rebound. He beats Sandy Moog, and that's the game winner. Final 4-3. That series also tied at 1 apiece. And I realize...
An autographed Mickey Mantle baseball card is worth about $1,500, but a boy in Seattle got one for $6 today. 9-year-old Sky Kennedy borrowed $6 from his mother to buy some baseball cards, and in one of the packs, he found a real autographed Mickey Mantle card. It turns out the card was one of 2,500 randomly inserted by the card company. Sky has already been offered $750 for it, but he says he's never going to part with it for any amount of money. And another name out of the past was cause for a blast tonight in Oakland. Another name out of the past was cause for a blast tonight in Oakland. Former employees of Capital Airlines had a reunion at the Pittsburgh Athletic Association. Now, Capital used to fly regularly out of the old Allegheny Airport before being absorbed by United Airlines in 1961. The reunion was organized by the Pittsburgh Aero Club, which hopes to start an aeronautical museum in Pittsburgh with memorabilia from airlines such as Capital. Well, plenty of capital is needed to make a record these